What's up, everybody? I am back with another movie review, and today we'll be wrapping up February review month with like rom-coms and notable black films. And today I wanted to cover Undercover Brother, starring Eddie Griffin. Now, before I continue, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. We're 22 subs away from 500. Don't know exactly what I'm gonna do as far as like that milestone, but once we get to it, I'll figure out something. But like this video, doesn't cost a thing. Give it a like, share this with your friends, and follow me in the links in the description below. Anyway, so Undercover Brother is pretty much like a play on the blaxploitation films and spoofing the James Bond type of films. There was a lot of that going around because it was still around that time where like Austin Powers was really being like popular, and this movie actually was released same time as the very first Spider-Man film, if you can believe it, and the Attack of the Clones film. But it did pretty well. Apparently, it had like a sequel I did not know about that came out on Netflix in 2019 that apparently was such a dud that it was not promoted and nobody speaks of it. I guess it was that bad. But like I said, it stars Eddie Griffin as Undercover Brother, Chris Kattan as Mr. Feather, Denise Richards as White She-Devil, and Junae Ellis, who recently has had like a birthday, plays Sister Girl. You got Dave Chappelle as Conspiracy Brother, Shy McBride as the Chief, Neil Patrick Harris as Lance, the intern, Gary Anthony Williams as Smart Brother, Billy D. Williams as General Warren Boutwell. Yeah, so little do you might know, probably didn't even realize this. There wasn't, back in the day, was some kind of webtoon thing you could probably look up of Undercover Brothers, kind of like one of those, like those 70s type of animated projects, but it looked like one of those old school hand drawn things, very like obviously very minimal budget type of thing, but it's just like it's kind of like a web series of Undercover Brother working for the Brotherhood to stop the man. So I guess it's kind of sort of was like an origin story, or at least how Undercover Brother gets started working for the Brotherhood, which is an acronym which we never know what the acronym is. What it is called, the Brotherhood. But there's actually was some smart writing in this, and knows how to embrace the satire and stereotypes and really like do it well. But man, if it was made today, man, it would, I wouldn't say it would tank, but it's gonna be a lot of young people clutching their pearls, because this is what like me and my friends talk about. We watch something like this, it's like, yeah, obviously making fun of black people, but making fun of white people as well and other races, and yeah, be okay with it. It's just, it's kind of like an inoculation. That's why, like, millennials, majority of millennials, probably the last generation that can actually handle, certain things without freaking out. Like, oh my God, they said this about black people, they cancel them, blah, blah, blah. Just laugh at yourself. It's funny. It still holds up. It's a funny, blaxploitation type of, at least a joke on blaxploitation, and very obviously 70s inspired stuff, even though it was like modern day kind of thing. And we get like a it's funny. You look at Dave Chappelle now compared to how he was back here. I think it was, during a point where the Chappelle show was coming up or about to come up. It's like his popularity was really like kicking off, and it's like, yeah, man, like Dave Chappelle was very wiry back in the day. Now he's very like cool, talk very slow. Every once in a while he gets those bursts of like, like, uh, like, surprise, motherfucker. That kind of like added. He gets bursts of that every once in a while, but he's very cool, smoking a cigarette and talk very deep and philosophical. Like, like white people do this, but it's like, surprise, motherfucker! I guess you didn't think I was gonna do it like this, huh? It's like that, kind of thing. It's like, man, times change, but it's just like, wow, he was like definitely so wiry, and forgot how skinny he was back then. Now he's got like diesel all of a sudden. Anyway, so the movie begins where a little bit of like a history of what black people, how black people kind of influenced America in a lot of different ways. And around like the 80s, the man who's pretty much like a one of those conspiracy villains that was made up around like the 70s, where this invisible, faceless figure of this white old man who made it his mission to put black people down or any minorities down in various strategic ways, kind of thing. Pretty much like a white boogeyman, essentially. And I like what he played here, where he's kind of like the Claw from like from the Inspector Gadget cartoons, where you don't see his face, but he's that looming threat, which is kind of fun. A great idea to kind of play it that way, because it's like this shadowy figure. So while the Brotherhood is infiltrating his company, trying to steal some documents to hopefully take down, or at least strike a serious blow to the man. Unbeknownst to them, Undercover Brother was already undercover, erasing documents for at least trying to help low-income families, erasing like any kind of debts or something or other, just to make their lives a lot, easier. So they thinking like, okay, this guy is good, but he's a freelance spy. We can't have that because looming around. But how does a freelance spy work? Like, where does he have his own like guy in a chair, or his own tech guy or something like that? Like, how does he like afford to do what he needs to do without some kind of backing? Because clearly the Brotherhood has like some kind of organization going on. Even then, who supports them? Because you think about like the CIA or MI6, they're government funded, and I buy that the man has backing because he, white America, so it's like it definitely has the backing. But it's like, you might think too much of it, but it's just the fact that, okay, I can let it slide with the Brotherhood having some, organization, whether or not you willing to like buy the fact that they shouldn't even be able to like where they get the money for all this stuff. But you can let that slide. You can't let slide but how Undercover Brother gets all these disguises and infiltrating certain areas the way he does. it's kind of like, okay, you freelance spy is. I'm not saying that it can't be a thing, but your resources should be limited, extremely limited. But anyway, um, now we see that the man talking with his underling cohort named Mr. Feather, who, is kind of like one of those, Bond villain types like Goldfinger. But when he first appears, he has like a feather in his hand. You see him with a feather at least a couple of times in the movie, but they drop it pretty quickly. But you'll think like he has some kind of feather motif, on his clothes or some type of like office with, feather like, decorations or something like that. You call him Mr. Feather, you think you'll lean into like a name like that. Like the man with the golden gun, he'll always have his golden gun with him. You don't just see that one golden gun one time in the first act, but never see that come across ever again. Is that part I thought it was kind of like weird that you dropped that, so fast. But anyway, they had like a plan which mind you, this is 6 years shy, or 6 or 7 years shy from, Obama running for president. They have Billy Dee Williams playing this general who's pretty much like a loosely based off of the late Colin Powell, named Warren Bootwell. And he's a decorated war general and like a strong contender for the run for the presidency. But the man wants him eliminated, but Feather offers a different suggestion because I guess, knowing history is like what happened with like Dr. King or Malcolm X. They don't want to repeat that, where it's like, we don't want to make him a martyr. What we need to do is strike a blow to the reputation. So so they created this mind controlling drug that they ministered to the general. So when he's going to a press conference, everybody's anticipating his announcement for running for the for president. Well, even like the Brotherhood is like, at least the core group, are watching the television and like just elated, can't wait. But then, and kudos to Billy Dee Williams, like, you forget how funny he is. And it's like, I'm here to announce I run a chain of fried restaurants. And just the look of glee, and kudos to the actors here, because honestly, especially like the chief and sister girl, where the glee just go, it's just like, it reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Bart shows Lisa how she broke that other kid's heart when she told him that she doesn't like him like that. And it's like, you watch this, Lisa. You place it in slow motion. You can see the moment you broke his heart. And it's like that. Like, you see the moment that their heart just got broken. And you hear the people in the crowd like, will there be sides? And he just named all these, like, mac and cheese, collard greens, biscuits, and mashed potatoes. And it's like, you see, like, Conspiracy Brothers getting hungry just thinking about it, because it didn't sound tasty. But it's just like, they knew it quickly that, okay, the man has to be responsible, but they got to be sure, really, like, help, like, infiltrating the man's business, but they need undercover brother. So sister girl goes to to retrieve him. He meets the group, and of course the chief. It's kind of like your stereotypical like chief of detectives back in like the 80s and 90s is constantly yelling, like, "Where the hell you been? This I ain't running no like cowboy ops. Like, get your shit together. Like the mayor's chewing my ass." That kind of attitude. Matter of fact, perfect example is the if you remember the first Beverly Hills Cop, Eddie Murphy's, Axel Foley's boss. It's like a stereotypical version of that. It was really funny. Everybody, you think like with the names they only have that one note, but there's so much going on beyond that stuff, and they play it really well, each one. And it's like the chief isn't always yelling, but the actor McBride plays it very well because he very got a boisterous voice and just very dominating type of voice. And the sister girl always, not like stereotypical sassy, like kind of sassy, but just like that cool Foxy Brown kind of attitude, it's play it like that. Oh my God, the jingle to that fried chicken thing he came up with, like, General's fried chicken, it's butt kicking, yeah. And I was like, God, I forgot how funny that was. God, it's so freaking funny. And of course he, like, look out, Colonel, here comes the General. And then here comes Dave Chappelle chiming in with his goofy self, talking about like, he's kind of right about that Colonel. Slaves cook that chicken. White man know how to cook, melt those herbs and spices. Oh my God. And the chemistry amongst the cast is amazing. And I was like, smart brother, you're so damn smart. How come you couldn't figure this out? Yeah. If I want to hear something stupid, I'll talk to this skinny black ass. It's just, the comedy beats is so good. And you forget, this is the director that also made Girls Trip, funny enough. So, oh my God, it's so hilarious. So, Undercover brother and sister girl infiltrate this golf course where the general is golfing with a bunch of people and distributing his fried chicken. And then they find about like Mr. Feather, who is supposed to work for the man. They feel like, okay, something is going down. So they end up going to this cigarette company where Undercover brother goes undercover as Anton Jackson, but because the cigarette company is supposed to be run by the man, but they need him to play as like a tight ass, uppity, black guy, kind of who acts stereotypically white. It's kind of what people in the black community would dub an Oreo, where it's like black on the outside but white on the inside kind of thing. So they have him watch this kind of like a montage of white stereotypical stuff with Backstreet Boys, playing like no, not Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, I'm sorry. And you see all these monsters, all these like kind of white stuff, and it's like, man, like, first of all, that music is still slaps. I don't care what they say, but it's the joke of it all. So they send in Lance, ironically, to test his knowledge on like knowledge about like Friends, but I love the whole comedic bit about like as Undercover Brother sees like what's this white dude doing here, and she was like, for affirmative action, man. They coming down on us hard, so we need to get like uh, a white person on board. It's like I love that play on the whole thing of affirmative action, or it's like they have like a token white guy in the room, so that way they don't lose funding or anything like that. So I thought it was like really funny, and like Neil Patrick Harris plays it so well. Uh, the whole whiteness thing. Uh, so and I'm thinking to myself, like, why don't they just have Lance go in there to infiltrate? But maybe I guess you don't have the skills for undercover work or field work because he's an intern. But it's kind of like it will be a little bit harder if you get like a black person to do all this kind of stuff. But anyway, he comes in as Anton Jackson, and no, not the Jackson 5. So he goes in there, uh, uh, breach the system, and to allow the Brotherhood to figure out that the general's under some mind control, and they come to realize that the man's plan on implementing this serum on a wide scale, but there's no way to individually inject every black person to behave the way the general is. So they come to realize that they administered the drug into the chicken because there's quite a few notable black people are behaving very strangely. But that's when Undercover Brother gets busted. Mr. Feather decides to send in Black Man's Kryptonite, and here comes Denise Richards as Penelope Snow, aka White She-Devil. And of course, Denise Richards, especially back then, gorgeous, stunning. And it's like, yeah. And so it's just like she does that stereotypical dropping the paperwork on the ground. And it's like after she bumps into Anton, and it's like, oh dear, oh my. And it's like whammo. It's just like, even as a kid, when I saw this on DVD when my stepmother got it, and her, and my brother watched it when we was little, and even then, it's like, yeah, I'll probably fall for that too. It's like you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that looks not just a white girl, but a white girl that looks like that. It's like you probably fold too. It's like, come on. And it's like it starts smiling and batting her eyes at you and stuff like that. It's like, come on. And at least for me, it's not like I don't mind like a blonde white girl, but it's just like I'm partial to like those raven hair ones, normally like the goth girls kind of thing. That would for me, that would really get me. I was like, oh my god, it's like I will fold so quickly. But she pretty much is, really got into Undercover Brother's head. So they go into like karaoke and shopping for khakis and khakis and corduroy, and Sister Girl realizes like, okay, something's up, because he kind of losing himself, because it's kind of like a play on like cop films where like The Departed, where somebody gets in too deep and then starting to like affect them in a way, which kind of leads to the point of like when to pull a person out. uh, so I like they kind of brought this back. It was a mark of good writing. The fact that Undercover Brother wears this medallion with the Black Power Fest on it, and you saw early on in the film how like it was given to him by his father, as Undercover Brother mentions that he doesn't, his father gave him that so he won't forget who I am. So she brings that around to him. So he, comes back to his senses. Then White She Devil and a bunch of goons come and try to take him out. But as like a fight goes on, White She Devil and Sister Girl get into a fight, starts like ripping off each other's clothes, and Undercover Brother and the goons just stop what they're doing, just to whoa. And this part gets me every time, even after all these years, gets me every time. Cause I know it's such a dude thing to do, but let's be real. Like, girl or guy, you see like two hot women, fighting and ripping each other's clothes off. We just stop in the middle. It's like, just let it ride. And then like they, fall back into the shower and they bump into one of the knobs and turn the water on. As they just set up chairs and snacks as they watching these two women, hot women fight in like, with water and half, darn near half naked. And it's like, it's just so like just unnecessarily arousing. Until like Sister Girl finally knocks her out and the fun just stops. It's like, dang, right. So, they knock out the goons and they have like a car chase, which they end up catching up to Undercover Brother and Sister Girl. But because he laid that thing on her, she is very James Bond. He laid that thing on her, and White She Devil just shoots the goons and just like, it's like I'm switching sides because I'm so in love with you, Undercover Brother. And Sister Girl's reaction like, it's like, son of a bitch. So, she assists in helping them get inside Mr. Feather's base of operations, because they couldn't realize that the man and Mr. Feather's planning on getting James Brown, getting the serum into James Brown. But Undercover Brother was in disguise as James Brown. Oh my God, and I forgot about Chris Kattan. He has his funny moments because he's like an SNL veteran, and they talk about how like black people have really had like a major impact on American society, or just society as a whole. And you see like how Chris Kattan have his little beats of cultural influence. It's like, he's like, don't be dissing me. And then he listened to Mary J. Blige, and he started dancing. Let's get it. And he says that dancing. Wow, I don't know how Billy D. Williams maintained that straight face, because he's under mind control. He's just standing there all still as Chris Kattan just dancing in his office room. It's like, and he just, custom. He's like, what am I doing? I don't know, what are you doing? It was like, what are you doing? So I'm going back to the whole James Brown thing, as he's about to administer the drug, and James Brown, or Undercover Brother, starts like, say it loud. What? Say it loud. And it's like, black and I'm proud. And I was looking at him like, what? And then, of course, that's when Undercover Brother reveals himself, and well, the Brotherhood comes in to save the general, administer the antidote so that way, he comes to his senses. But his whole run for presidency and all the other stuff, that's out the freaking door because nobody's going to buy all this crap. And they're spies, so they can't really tell anybody what happened. But while trying to get the general out, Mr. Feather and Undercover Brother have a fight on top of the roof. Then like the man who was there the whole time or showed up for no unexplicable reason just to end up leaving Mr. Feather behind. But while he's holding on to dear life to the helicopter, Undercover Brother used his afro picks as like throwing daggers, hit him in a butt as he forces to let go, and he falls in the water where he gets eaten by the shark. It was hilarious way to go, but not as hilarious as you hear like the man is like, dumbass fool played himself. What? So while the base is going up in an explosion, Undercover Brother saves himself by using his parachute pants modified so he can glide safely. And the movie ends with the man stopped and the day is safe. So that was Undercover Brother. Like I said, it's very smartly written, hilarious. To this day, it's so hilarious. Highly recommend you guys check it out, man, because it is fun. Oh my god. But yeah, got one more film to review, which is Wedding Crashers. Perfect way to end February review month with like a nice rom-com, hilarious rom-com on top of that. And trust and believe, I made sure I watched like the unrated version. When it comes to things like this, I prefer the unrated stuff, get more meat on it. But let me know in the comments below what you think of Undercover Brother. Have you seen it recently? What are your favorite moments? And I will see you guys soon. Take care.